The second part of the hook is with the kick. Yo, what up YouTube? It's Young Twan. I'm back with another video. In today's video, I'm finna show you how I made this sample kind of like, I thought it could fit for the style of like Young Thug. I laid also some kind of like southside 808 Mafia type drums over it. I thought it could fit for like the Slime Language 2 or some other like Thug projects like So Much Fun or like Slime Language, the first one. So I made the melody from scratch and the beat, like everything from scratch. So I'm gonna show y'all how I did it and how I made the melody and how I made the drums, kind of like my thought process behind everything. And so yeah, pretty much. So let's just get straight to it. So I'm here in FL. This is how the project is looking like. So I first started with the sample, and what I did, I first pulled up an instance of Omnisphere, and I pulled up a keys from Keyscape, and I pulled up this Weltmeister Clavinet EP retro octave from Keyscape. Here are the effects. I don't think I messed with it too much, but yeah, whatever. Without the effects, now it actually started out with a Palace MIDI. I got the MIDI from one of the Palace's MIDI kits. So yeah, pretty much. So this is what the keys sound like. So yeah, it just repeats over, and this is with the effects now. The effects is just a cool little EQ to cut some of the lows out, and a Verb Suite Classics from, it's a reverb from Liquid Sonics, and I turned down the dry and wet knob, and I think also I messed around with the width knob. This is a good reverb from Liquid Sonics. I recommend you guys to go get it. And yeah, pretty much. So this is the first chords from pattern 1, and then I layered these chords, these like bell type stuff, with a bell from the Palace Omnisphere Bank. It's called like 666, and I turned off this Indonesian metallophone and just left the vaporware, whatever it is. And pretty much this is what it sounds like. It's literally, you know, the same notes. And to that I added a couple of effects. Oh no, I just added an EQ just to cut the low end, to clean it up. And then lastly, what I added for the A part, I added this Woodwind Solo. It's like a flute contact library from Sound Iron, and I picked the flute legato preset, and this was in the Palace MIDI. This was like the top line. So yeah, pretty fire. To that, there's some effects. The effects are, I think, quite a lot, no? Oh, I added a EQ to cut the lows out. I added a guitar rig. Now, it's not really common to add a guitar rig to a flute, but I was just thought, like, when I heard the flute, I was like, I want to like fuck this up like as badly as possible. But still kind of, you know, make it sound good, obviously. So I picked the washed out preset from Guitar Rig, and I think I fucked around with the mixes in a lot of these, and I turned off this pitch pedal because it messed up with the pitch of the flute, and I didn't want that. And then lastly, I added this cassette. I picked the 1978 preset. This kind of gives it more like a vintage feel. You know, more like a sampled feel type thing. And I turned down the mix knob, and this is what it sounds now with the effects. So as you can see, it makes quite a bit of a difference. So that was the part, the A part. Now on the B part, on the B part, sorry, I used the same chords, the same, you know, same chords, the same instruments. The only thing I added different was this contact tambura. It's like a guitar from the Balkan Ethnic Orchestra Bank, and here are the notes. Now this is without the effects. Now with the effects, this is it. With the effects, this is what it sounds like. As you can see, the effects like really change the sound up quite a lot. So EQ to cut some of the highs out. I opened up Guitar Rig again. I picked this like sampler kickback preset. Lustrous Play is another reverb from Liquid Sonics. I took the Chrome Play preset and a stereo imager just to, you know, put it a tiny bit to the right. And that's pretty much, that was part A. That was what I just showed, part B. And this like third pattern was just a, you know, it's just the keys without the guitar or without the flute. So at the end, the sample sounds like this. All right. I ended up adding some final effects to it. I added a Good Hertz tone control with the bright preset, isotope vinyl. I messed around with the warp depth, and a H910 dual harmonizer where I turned down the mix. You can't see it because I just reopened it, but I did turn down the mix. And then also what I did, I turned down the sample rate. Not here, it was here, I think. Yeah, I turned down the sample rate to like 22,000 hertz. Yeah, just to give it that more like vintage feel type thing, you know. That's what we're looking for when we're making these samples. So that was the melody. Now I'm gonna get onto the drums. So for the drums, again, you know, I kept it very simple. I never, you know, overthink or overdo my samples and my drums. So I just added the 808. A clap. A hi-hat. And then I added a later snare. Then I added this open hat. It hits like every time before like the claps. And then for the second part of the hooks and the last kind of part of the verses, I added this kick. Just to give it, you know, extra bounce. Overall, yeah, that's the beat. Oh yeah, on the master, I added a Fruity Soft clipper. That's it. And yeah, pretty much. So for the arrangement, also, I started the beat off with the flute, the A part of the sample, but half timed. As you can hear, it's half timed. Then I go into the hook, which is the flute. The second part of the hook is with the kick. And then it goes into the verse. Now that's gonna be this like third pattern right here without the flutes or without the guitar. And I took out the kicks and the open hats. Then I go and add the open hat. Well, I bring it back. And then for this last section of the verse, I added the part with the guitar, and I brought back the kick. You know, just to add a little variation, you know, give the beat more bounce. And then this like bridge section right before the hook is just the keys. So yeah, and then it just leads back into the hook. Yeah, and it's pretty much the same thing. So yeah, 16 bar hook, 24 bar verse, 8 bar bridge, and then just repeated. And then you have the hook, and then it ends with the outro, which is the same as the intro. So yeah, man, I hope you guys learned something new from this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You know, it really helps me out. Yeah, let me know in the comments any suggestions you have. If you want to see me make a beat like somebody, or make a sample like somebody, or yeah, just DM me or leave a comment, and I'll make sure to look at it and probably do it. So yeah, I really appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.